Welcome to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. Over the past 20 years, I've worked in beauty, luxury, corporate, and service-driven industries. I created the opportunity in these careers and in my own businesses that allowed me to travel the world, experience once-in-a-lifetime events, and build brands while providing my expertise to clients all around the globe. Life is short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. If you're ready to take your business and life to that next level you deserve to be at, this is the show for you. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today. Tune in every week to hear from myself, other entrepreneurs, professional patients, small business owners, and fellow podcasters who will be featured on the show. I'm here to remind you to work hard, share your story, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. Today's episode starts now. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to a brand new show. I'm so glad you're here because today I'm talking about a topic that I have not discussed on the show in a really long time. And to be honest with you, it's been really hard not to because that's the only thing that I haven't been sharing. I share everything on this podcast, but I haven't spoken about this topic in a while. And there's a couple of reasons. One, legally I can't. Two, couldn't. Two, I am in therapy for PTSD, trauma, anger, like all the things. And so when I talk about it, when I have recorded many episodes that you guys have never heard because I'm so angry and I'm just spending so much more time just trying to heal myself that today I feel really good. I feel really confident in sharing this information because I'm an expert when it comes to this. I am not an attorney yet. I am not a medical expert yet, but I am an expert in putting together a medical malpractice legal case on your own. And the reason why I want to share this aspect of it, what I'm about to share with you today, is because you can take a lot of the steps that I took in my malpractice cases and use them in your business and vice versa. If I was not a certain way in my business, there is no way in hell I would be where I am today with these cases. And there's 6, and I will tell you why. So for you, I just want to say that if you're new to the show, I'm just going to give you a really short version of why I'm even talking about this. So 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with 2 diseases that I ended up not having. And they were going to leave me blind and paralyzed and all of these things. And I did chemo treatments, drugs, for years. And this is why I have the podcast as well. Because if I was going to be blind and paralyzed, how am I going to share my story? How am I going to help other people? How am I going to run a business and make money? A podcast was the only resort because it's voice. And so here we are. That's all I do in my business now is run a full podcast production company, which is a whole nother story, but I'm sure you already know that. If you don't, visit my website, thehappyworkaholic.com. It's all there. But starting this show, that's, the main reason. So January 23rd, 2019 was when I got it in writing that it was official. I was misdiagnosed. There was absolutely nothing wrong with me. It wasn't another disease. It wasn't another anything. I was completely normal. Well, my crazy normal, right? Let's just be honest here. I am not normal, and either is, nobody is. This is my new normal. So, I really needed a lot of time to get my thoughts together for this show because I wanted to stay really calm because there's a lot of really good information I want to share with you that you can really utilize in your business. And it's so crazy, but this is just how it is. And if you are looking for an expert in things like this, that is me. I 100% can tell you that I am an expert when it comes to organization, strategizing, and all of that, right? So first of all, okay, so that was the story in short. January 23rd, 2019, I found out I was misdiagnosed. I then needed to move forward with a medical malpractice case. I think it was 113 attorneys. I believe I've been saying 111, but now that I've been going through other paperwork, I feel like it's 113. So the reason why I'm representing myself in 6, not 1, 6 medical malpractice cases, and I'll share with you why there's 6, not 1 in a second. But the words out of an attorney's mouth, multiple, hundreds, have been, are you hooked up to a breathing machine? Are you missing a limb? No. So they don't want my case. Literally, like, it's not even, this is my normal, okay? The crazy shit that happens in my life. These are questions people ask me, and I say no to, and they say, we don't want your case. I have colleagues, I have clients, I have friends that are attorneys. I have lists of attorneys I was calling, and at so many different states. People reaching out to me because of the show and my YouTube channel and things I was putting on the internet. There's no attorney to take my case. So guess what I had to do? I had to figure it out. Sometimes in business, you just have to figure it out, right? Another life lesson there for you. I went through so much research. Like, I'm a research queen, but when I say I went through research, I had to research every single thing for medical malpractice cases. I don't even know if there's like a word to describe, unless I can, when I'm finally done with everything, show you so you see like physically what happened. Well, I can't even do that because a lot of it's digital, but it's just beyond. Let's just say it's beyond. So the first step I had to take when I realized that nobody would take my case is figure out how to do it myself. So where do you go? You go to Google, you go to YouTube. There's no information there. It's all for personal injury. And also, every state is different. And another thing is, I live in another state where this did not happen now. So this all happened in Nevada, and I live in California. So that's another factor. And attorneys sometimes are not barred in multiple states. And there's a whole list of other reasons why attorneys wouldn't take my case. So staying on the path here, I then had to figure it out. So I learned from a couple people in the legal field that I had a couple options. I figured them out. I was only given the options. Like, this is the only path that you have to go. So I took that path. I came to Vegas, and I'm currently in Las Vegas right now. And I had to go to the courthouse, go to the legal library, all of the information. Again, every single thing I had to do, all these steps I had to research. If you own a business and you don't research, today is the day that you start, okay? Because you just need to do your research. You need to research your competitors. You need to research your clients. I mean, is it a great fit? You need to research your vendors. I mean, if you don't, today is the day you need to start. It will take your business to a whole nother level. I promise you that. So last February is when I started coming back to Vegas to figure out the court situation. And doing my research, I was told by the courthouse certain steps I had to take. I did them all. I came prepared. I had stacks of paperwork. I mean, stacks, you guys. It was out of control. And I walked in there and I was ready. And then I was told, no. Again, no, this is all wrong. We do all of this for every kind of case in our courtroom, except for medical malpractice. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't even tell you. First of all, the support of my friends is just beyond, because none of them know what it's like to go through this. They know what it's like to, they know what it was like for me to have gone through this when I was sick. But when you have that friend and you can bitch and complain about something and you need to vent and you always take turns, and that's just like life shit. But I can tell you, it's probably pretty rare that you have another friend that has gone through being misdiagnosed to then go through their own medical malpractice cases that they've had to do by themselves. I don't think that that's a thing. So That's really hard because you're venting to friends and they're obviously going to be there to support you and listen to you, but they have no idea what you're talking about. And that's frustrating too. And that has nothing to do with them. It's just like you just want one person to help you and be like, okay, do this next. That's not an option. And that's sometimes what happens in business as well. Like you have a company online, your friends have no idea, you need some advice and you can't get it. You got to figure it out. Again, same thing, business malpractice cases. So I was told no, but you can go to the legal library across the street and I'm sure you'll find information there. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you guys, on so many times I went to that courtroom, I can't believe I wasn't arrested because of how loud I was. I was so angry. And I've been in therapy for over a year for this. So at that point, like, I'm still trying to process, like, how am I not going to die from chemo after effects? How am I not going to die? Like, I still think I'm dying. I still go to bed thinking I'm going to die and not wake up. Not like recently, but I mean, sometimes it just like, I mean, honestly, throughout this pandemic, it happened a lot. Today, I don't feel like that, but, you know, I was getting a lot of triggers, like being on, you know, self-isolating and not leaving the house for days and not being able to go anywhere for weeks. I started to feel like I was sick again, and it really messed with my head, like big time. So again, thank God for therapy. But it's just crazy, really, when you go through something like that, and like I can look back and I'm like, that's my life. Like, I actually went through that. It seems like I'm telling the story of another person, which is so crazy. So I go to the legal library and I met the two most wonderful librarians, and I was hysterically crying in a library. Please help me. And whenever I come to Vegas, I always end up extending my trip. It's just like a given. And that trip, I was going to extend 2 days for two other reasons why. And ironically, there were free legal classes those days. And I signed up. And I was like, wow, that was a sign. So I took these legal classes, and there was a bunch of people in the class that had signed up. Guess who was there? I was the only one. So I got to ask questions regarding my case. I mean, I was in there prepared. Everything was organized. I was ready. I was already in court. I was trying to figure all of this out. And again, the attorney that was teaching the class knew nothing about medical malpractice. I'm like, can I just get one human to just give me one answer? Just one answer. And again, like, you're frustrated, you can't get an answer, and you just need to figure this shit out by yourself. And that's what I've been doing this whole entire time. It's fucking nuts, you guys. When there's no information on the internet, when you know every state is different, when you know, like, you have to expect you're going to get the wrong answers and know you have to figure it out. If you're not organized digitally and with paperwork, you are screwed. And this is, again, for your business. The amount of people I've had to contact, the amount of like phone calls and emails and research, I mean, literally over a year. This is just like on another level. But you have to be organized and you have to have a strategy. So I have so many videos online, and I've done so many shows about how to be organized in your business and your life. I've been organizing my whole life, honestly, and like, you just need to find your own way. I have friends that like things the way I like them, like kind of on an OCD level, but I have friends that like their messy organization just like works for them. Like, their junk drawer's a mess, but they know what's in there, and that works. So just find something that works for you. When it comes to legal matters, you've got to take it to a whole nother level. So between doing my research, staying persistent, being absolutely organized, you have to find another way to be resourceful. You always have to find a solution for something. You have to try every single way possible until you get a result. You know, a lot of people talk about taking messy action. This action cannot be messy. This shit needs to be organized in your business as well. You can take action when it's messy and try certain things, but the way that you're going to try them, you need to have a strategy. You need to be organized in some fashion that you know how to refer back to in the end of the day, at the end of the launch, at the end of the program, whatever it is that you're working on, right? So going back to my case, in the beginning, it was very difficult because I could not remove my emotions, and I've had multiple attorneys tell me, you're going to get ripped apart, like ripped to shreds by the judge in court. Literally, those were the words out of mouths, multiple mouths. And I'm like, I'm a very emotional person. Obviously, if you've been listening to the show, I swear a lot, I cry a lot. Like, I've just always been very emotional my whole entire life. And I think that's a good thing. If I didn't feel emotions, which I didn't for years when I was doped up on all these drugs, like I was numb. And the fact that I could cry again listening to like Wilson Phillips, like that's amazing to me. I think that's amazing. But when it comes down to a legal strategy and dealing with judges, like, you need to wipe that out. And that's very difficult for me, but I've done it. And you have to base everything on facts and science. You know, state the facts after doing your research. And nothing about this is fair, you know, nothing. And what was done to me was illegal. And it's not okay. Like 4 years of my life have been taken from me. And that's not okay. And the reason why I'm so persistent is because it's also not okay for anybody else. And not everybody else is me. Nobody knows what to do. I can't tell you how many people have said, oh, I just gave up on my case because nobody would listen. You just give up. You cannot give up. Never, ever give up. That is the tagline of this show. I can't tell you how many times. I literally last week said I just want to give up. And I can't even believe I say those words, but because you get to a whole another level of frustration, it's just beyond, in caps, 3 exclamation points, beyond frustrating. But at the end of the day, you need to know that you need to be compensated. You need to be compensated for your time, which I always talk about is worth money. You need to be compensated for your energy. And oh my God, I can't talk. Energy. You need to be compensated for the loss of life. Do you know how many things I could have accomplished in the last 4 years out of life? But I haven't been able to because of this. So I just need to, again, figure it out and keep this train moving right along. Did I think I was going to be done with this by now? Absolutely. I gave myself a time frame, but let's be realistic. We know that wasn't going to work out. But in my mind, I had everything in, how can I word this? I had a strategy and I had my own timelines. And every time you think something's going to be done, it's not. And that's again in business. You know, you set up for a launch, you think you're going to make money. You do something with products or, just this pandemic. You thought you were going to make all this money in this spring, but guess what? You're not because of the pandemic. You just need to find other ways, which is why everybody's bringing their business online, right? Launching a podcast, any other outlet, everybody's being so creative. It's honestly the best thing ever to see because they never would have taken this route to get additional revenue. I mean, how many stories have you seen that people now are making more money in their business because they've opened the doors to another stream of income? My friend the other day was telling me that this woman where I live in San Diego has a really small clothing store, and she got closed down. So do you know what she did? She took her garment racks and started selling her clothes in the front of her house, like a yard sale. And she's making fantastic money. And do you want to know something crazy? Her whole neighborhood, none of them knew that her store was in San Diego, and it's been there for quite some time. So she just opened the doors to a whole new list of customers. It's incredible. So I really think that this time that we're going through right now, not to get off this topic, but it's really given us time to reflect more on ourselves. I mean, how many times have you called a friend you haven't heard from in a really long time, or done a video chat with someone, reconnected I mean, I talked to a friend, I think I mentioned this on a show, that I haven't talked to in 16 years the other day. Him and I were on the phone for like almost 2 hours, I think. It was like I just talked to him the day before. It was crazy. But find these ways to stay creative and keep your spirits up. And this is also what I had to do in the legal case, because keeping my spirits up, let's just say that is a job in itself. And when you are working on your own medical malpractice case, you need to know that everything you're going to do, you are going to have to do yourself. You can always reach out to me. I can always share with you like how I went about organizing my records and all of that. But there's no information on the internet. I can tell you this because I've already spent over a year trying to figure that out. And now, by the way, I haven't done a lot of these. Well, actually, it's probably been like 6 to 8 months, but I created a series on YouTube called Med Chat Mondays where I was sharing how to organize your records and all of these things. And I had to stop because it was a big trigger. And then I got to a point where I had to stop sharing for legal reasons because I couldn't share like what was happening. And that was a lot of the reason too here why I haven't been able to share on the show. And it's killing me because I share my entire life with you guys, and it's like I'm hiding this like one thing where everybody knows is still happening, because a lot of people ask me like, what's going on with your legal case? I can't tell you. Like, so many people every single day ask me that. And my response is always the same. Like, I can't legally mention things because I am representing myself, and you have to have a strategy and you have to be very, very smart. The first thing I want to do is share everything with you guys, but I can't because I'm going to destroy my cases. And when it comes time to putting your medical malpractice cases together, you have to know this is one thing that I did not know, and this is why there's 6 cases. All parties need to be involved. Anybody having to do with anything that happened to you, they are all a piece of the pie. Your big picture. You need to go after all of them. That is why I have 6 cases. When you have a firm representing you, it's a different story. So that is one thing I had to learn. So not only did I have to rack my brain, do my research, and put together these cases, I then had to do it 5-6 times more, 6 times total. So 6 different ways, which is like on another level. I should just call this episode On Another Level, because everything I'm telling you is just like beyond. And it's like honestly unbelievable. And I can't wait for the day that I can actually show you like more, but I can't now because I'm not done yet. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. You also need to keep in mind the amount of time that this is going to take you. When I started doing the research and putting together the cases, that was a solid 30-40 hours a week. In addition to running my business, this is a full-time job. You cannot slack off. You cannot fucking make mistakes. You need to grab the cutest little highlighters that you're going to fall in love with, and Post-its and Sharpies and file folders and notebooks and anything else that you are going to need to get your shit together when it comes to representing yourself in any kind of case, period. Same thing with business. Figure out your systems, figure out your strategies, find a way that works best for you and use it. I always share what works best for me because that's just what works. I have so many friends that have picked up my color coding highlighting system for their planners, which I love seeing. Like, seriously, I love seeing. I had a friend months ago. She's like, "What was the color you use for personal to do items again?" Because every color I use represents something. Because when I open my planner, like the month at a glance, I look at it and I see all the colors and I'm like, okay, blue is medical, green is bills, orange is clients, yellow is mandatory, green is money, purple is podcast, pink is personal. Did I say that or opposite? I forget because I did switch up that color. Anyway, they all mean something, so I don't get overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, I have a lot of meetings this day, I have a lot of therapy this day, all of that. So again, just find a system that works for you, and you just need to know that it's going to take a lot of time. So I booked out my year in December. year at a glance. Every month I had goals, personal goals, business goals, financial goals. So many goals, you guys. And this month I was supposed to already have my adoption go through. I was supposed to already have my investment property for my Airbnb. I was supposed to already have my new car. I was supposed to be done with my legal cases in January. Like, welcome to reality, right? Oh my God. And that kind of like hit me, and it was just a lot. And now, to kind of wrap this up, I just want to share with you that last week I got some information and I was working on some things for my case. And last Friday, I was in my kitchen making my green juices, living my best life. You know, the kitchen is my happy place. And out of nowhere, well, I'm not going to say out of nowhere, but all of a sudden, I went from the fridge to the sink and I got vertigo. And it was so bad. And I have vertigo for a number of reasons. Excuse me, hiccups. I have vertigo. I get it from stress. I get it from salt. I get it from detoxing my body from certain meds I was on a year ago. It's actually one of the side effects from one of them. If I have too much salt, my inner ear, it affects it and it swells up. So then I get vertigo from that. So that's why I can't have that much salt. And I have been the last 2 days. So I pop water pills. And I do have to take water pills every day. And the amount of salt I have is, I'm allowed to have like 1,200, 1,400, but I try to stay around 1,000. And it does really help me. And I get it from stress. And in my mind, like my mind is like, I wish there was like a sound effect that I could use to explain my mind to you right now with the amount of information that is sitting in it with these cases. And I had been working on a lot of things last week, and then I got mail for it, and then it was this whole thing. I had therapy last Friday, and that's when I was making my juices right after. And then I got vertigo so bad. Bad to the point where I canceled the rest of my day. I went to bed and I found this vertigo meditation, which I shared like all over my social. If you haven't seen it and you need it, message me, because I had that vertigo meditation. First of all, who the hell knew that even existed? I had that on replay for 3.5 hours, almost 4. I was in bed. I don't know if you've ever experienced vertigo, and for everybody, it's so different, but I have it on my left side, only ever in my left ear. And so I have to be like basically sitting up in my bed at like a 90-degree angle, and I cannot turn to the right. There's no right movement whatsoever. I always have to be on my left, sitting up, pillows propped like all the way up. I grab my blanket and I like prop it up behind the pillow, and that's how I have to be. Like literally be by myself in my bed. And then I found this amazing meditation, and I actually want to message them and say thank you so much, because that saved my ass. The next day, so then I was in bed till the next day. The next day I showered, so I felt a little bit better, but I was still, it was lingering. And if you ever have vertigo, it kind of lingers on if you get a really bad episode of it. And the stress and the triggers of everything with this freaking case, that's what triggered it for sure. And it just sucks. And so literally my entire weekend, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I did not leave my house. So when Monday came, I showered, I shaved, I did my hair, I left, I went for a walk, like to get outside, get fresh air, feel human. I was like on lockdown mode again. I could not, I felt like it was coming back, and you know that feeling when you get vertigo. And sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. But then, like it did for me on Friday, but then you know subconsciously like why it arrived. So that was really rough. So on the next episode, I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys shows that I binged. I mean, I watched full series. They are complete because I was in bed for 3 days. And I just knew I needed to rest my body. And that is something else you need to know when you are running a business, when you are representing yourself in legal cases. If you don't take the time for yourself to rest, everybody says this all the time, take time for yourself. But what I'm saying is take time to rest. And if it's coming out of my mouth, it's like Oh my God. I would never be saying this like a year ago. Take time to rest. I mean, I'm the happy workaholic. Now I'm in Vegas. I'm like, this is so crazy. Like the strip is shut down. I used to clock like 14 miles a day, like running around the strip. And it was just nuts. And I would take time to sleep, maybe a few hours, but I'm not resting my mind, resting my energy. This is my new approach at life, and I've become a different person, to be honest with you. I feel different. When I come to Vegas, I sometimes get vertigo when I'm here because of the stress and because of the triggers and because I'm angry. And I try really hard to not do that, but it just happens. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. It is what it is. And I haven't, I need another sip of my iced coffee, you guys. I haven't felt like that yet, and I'm leaving tomorrow, so fingers crossed. But I have to have certain things with me all the time. You know, I always talk about my morning routine. I have my money spray, my pink lamp, my oil diffuser. I have my teas, all my electrolytes, my waters. I brought all of that with me this trip. I needed it all, and it's here with me now. And I honestly think that that's why. And I feel like I'm healing. I'm doing a lot of things that I'm going to share on the next episode as well. What I'm using to heal, like internally, externally, all of my approaches that like have really worked for me. And with this, it's trial and error, you guys. Nobody can tell you how to heal. No one. And if anybody has tried and it's not working, it's okay, because you're going to find your own way. That's the whole point of this episode, is you need to find your own way to make your business successful. You need to find your own way to make your cases work. I have had multiple strategies that have not worked, and you have to just keep trying. You have to keep plugging along. If something fails, you move the fuck along. Figure it out and move along. That's the only thing I can say. I mean, when I started these cases, I was told that I had to go certain routes. I went both those routes. I just finished one of those routes. And by routes, I mean, what's another word? There's 2 parts to these cases. So one of those parts has just completed. So I can share more of that when I'm really done with everything, which will hopefully be soon. But you need to also understand that everything is a game. It's a game. You have to have a strategy to win a game. You can't just go in there blindly. You have to have a strategy. You have to be organized. You have to do your research. You have to be resourceful. You have to have solutions. There's no way that I would be where I am today if I did not play this game with those pieces of information intact. There's no way. I can't tell you how many times I've cried myself to sleep. I can't tell you how many times I've cried to friends. Thank God for them. I love them so much because they've been listening to me bitch and complain for over a year about this fucking case. And I mean, the only thing they could do is like be angry for me and like help me like feel better. But none of them understands like what it is that I do on a daily basis. And it is a lot. And I really wish I could start like a Facebook group for like people that represent themselves in legal cases, because it is just, I mean, maybe it even exists, but medical malpractice, I highly doubt it. It's just like, you know, you've got to create everything I have in my life. I've created these cases as well. And whatever you have in your business and your personal life, you've come up with a reason why you want to do it. There's a reason behind the way you raise your kids. There's a reason behind the rules you have set in place for them. There's a reason behind you doing what you do every day. Why I have a why I have a morning routine, why I have an evening routine, how I organize my planner. There's reasons for this because it gets me to where I want to be. And if you need any help in getting to where you need to be, you just send me a message and I'm going to tell you, because You just need to be happy at the end of the day. And you're going to be frustrated if you're dealing with legal shit. I mean, that is a guarantee. But you need to find a way for yourself to feel better, because you can only take so much stress. I mean, it is beyond. And stress will kill you. And I've come to that point in my life so many times, like where it's just too much. Certain jobs, certain legal cases, certain doctors. I mean, the stress alone. I mean, it's all over the internet. I'm sure you have people in your life that could die from stress. You need to find ways to heal. So at the end of the day, when it comes time to running a successful business or representing yourself in a medical malpractice legal case or any kind of legal case, the same things make sense. So just please take my advice. If you need any more, just let me know, because I am an expert in this organizational situation of either in your business or legal cases. No, I'm not a medical expert. No, I'm not an attorney yet, but I am an expert when it comes time to getting your shit together and figuring it out. Because that is what I've had to do my entire life, you guys. Everything I've done, I've created. Jobs I had overseas, I created. Jobs I've had here, companies I've had here in the States, I've created. Programs. You can't find anything that I do online. I don't have any other competition. I have competition when it comes to programs for the same type of thing. But the way that I stand out is the service that I provide. There's no one else on this planet that can do exactly what I'm doing, what you're doing, because you're doing it your own unique way. And if you're not, you need to find a way to do it, because it's going to make you so much happier. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today, a little piece of my life that I haven't shared, and it's been really hard. You know, I have recorded a lot of episodes on it, but again, I was so angry, like nobody needs to hear that. So I guess that was like free therapy for me. But I really wanted to talk about, because I am working on a lot of things to be finalized. And it's just like running a business. It's just like, you know, whether you have paper planners or digital planners, I mean, the amount of people that you have to contact just to get a name, it's the same thing. For example, if you have a podcast, you want to pitch brands, who is that person that you need to get in touch with? It's going to take you some research. It's going to take you some time and patience. Patience is also a huge thing. Like, I for sure need that tattooed on my body somewhere when this is all done, because the level of patience you have to have, and I don't have any, and I now have it because I have to have it. And that's the same thing with healing. Like, I have to be healing. There's no way around it. Like, there's no other option. I have to heal my body, my mind, my energy, my soul, like everything. So, what else can I share with you guys besides the fact that I am on top of this, that I've also been working on my own medical product that honestly I really wanted to launch by my birthday, which is 6/10. And something in my gut is telling me that I should not do it this year. Not really this year, but you know, like I said, this was the month I was supposed to have a lot of things in my life based on the fact that I would have been done with my case by January. However, that's not my reality. And I needed this product to have a few things involved in it that I don't have yet because I'm not done with these cases. So most likely I'm going to push that, which again, you have to be prepared for like disasters. You have to be prepared for twists and turns and learning how to pivot in your life. And that's what I'm really upset about it, because I thought for sure, like, I always have a big launch on my birthday. And this year is just going to be different because it's not going to be perfect, this product. And it needs to be perfect because I'm creating this medical product to help millions of patients and medical experts and attorneys and caregivers and healers and everybody involved in a medical journey of someone of some kind. And I feel like there's a missing piece, and that's me being done with these cases, like all of them. So I'm like 99.9% sure that I'm going to push it because it needs to be the best. Why would I release something that's not the best when it comes to something like this? It's going to help save lives. I mean, that's a guarantee right there. So that's it, you guys. That's all I wanted to share. If you want any more information on, how I was organizing my records and a little bit more on the Med Chat Monday series I put together, it's on my YouTube, so the link will be in the show notes for you. But I really wanted to share, again, like I was saying, more on this because I haven't in a while because I was so angry. But now it's just like, God, everything, like just last week and this week, like everything I'm doing right now is so relatable to business. So you may not ever need anything, well, most likely, and I hope not, need to know any kind of information for representing yourself, going through medical malpractice, legal cases, and any of that, right? Any kind of legal cases. But what I shared with you today comes back to your business and your personal life. So I just felt really strongly about recording an episode and taking this area and really bringing it to light, because if I wasn't, organized and doing all these things, in my business, I wouldn't be where I am with my case. And if you have done your case, it's the opposite. Do it in your business. Do it in your personal life. It's just going to make you feel so much better. It's going to make you heal. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you a completely different person. I can tell you that for sure. I am a different person than I was last year. I'm stronger. I'm healing. My eyes have, I'm just living in a different world. And now we really are. So it's kind of crazy how parallel, what I went through. And I did a show on this, I forget which episode, how I was already prepared. When I found out I got sick, I had to close the doors on everything I was working with and who I was working with and working on and bring it to the internet. And so many people had to do this when this pandemic started. And it's like this life, my life story, my life situations already prepared me for this. So now I can help others that are going through something really, really shitty and make them stronger and help them heal. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And I hope that this information really hit home for you, really helped you, think a lot about a lot of things in your life, maybe in your business. And then if it comes to legal matters, obviously I'm not an attorney, but I can help you get organized in whatever it is that you're trying to do, because I am an expert in that field. Organization, my friends. So I think that's all I have to share. I got through my whole page of notes because I didn't want to miss anything. I just want you to, at the end of the day, know that you matter, know that your voice matters, know that you should never give up, and know that you were going through that for a reason. And I know that I went through something for a reason, because now I can help millions of other people. I mean, millions. That's my goal. So the same thing goes for you, whether it's in your personal life, your professional life, something you're struggling with. I promise you're going to get through it. There's no way in hell. I mean, I thought I'd be dead by now. I can't believe I still have a life. And it's a really good one. I have the most supportive friends on the planet. I have the best clients on the planet. And I'm helping other people by sharing my story. So if that's something that you feel in your gut you need to do, write it down, get organized, and fucking do it, because you only live once. And when you're given a second chance, this is in my intro, you have to take full advantage of it. And that's what I'm doing now, by continuously sharing what's worked in my life so that I can help other people in theirs. So again, I hope this episode helped you guys. If you have not left me a review on Apple Podcasts, I would really love it if you did that. I had a goal of 200 reviews by my 200th episode, and I didn't hit that. And that's because I spent more time working on my legal cases than promoting what it is that I want. So another tip in business: don't be frustrated when you don't hit goals. Just keep on pushing, keep on trucking along, and you're going to get there. And meditation always helps, by the way. I'm a huge believer in that. And take deep breaths and surround yourself with positive, uplifting people and clients. If you are running your own business, and you're getting pitched by new opportunities, don't say yes to them all. I've turned down so many things over the last few months because it just wasn't aligned. I don't want to work with some people that have a certain vision. I just want to work with people that are fired up and like ready to live their life and take it to the next level. That's who I want to work with, and you should be the same. The money's always going to come. I promise. The money will always come. You need to focus on who you want to spend your time and energy with. Do you want to hear somebody bitch and complain all the time? I highly doubt it, especially now with the world that we're living in. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this whole episode. It's a little bit longer than I wanted, but it's a lot of information that I really felt strongly about sharing. Like I said earlier, it's just facts. You've got to base everything on facts and remove emotion sometime. And if I'm saying that, you need to do it because it's been the most difficult part of this journey for me. And I'm still kicking it. I'm still here. So that's it. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful day and stay tuned for the next episode because that's going to be all about how I got through my vertigo, what I did to heal, the more things I'm doing to heal internally, externally, and all of that. So I'm sharing a lot of products that I've been using. So it's going to be a super fun episode. So stay tuned for that and I'll talk to you soon. Your time is so valuable, and I really appreciate you carving out a little piece of your day to listen to today's episode. If you liked this one, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. Listening on Apple Podcasts? I would love it if you would leave me a review on today's show. Your input means so much and also helps me create more of the content you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? You can join us in the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Simply answer the questions and you're in. For more information on myself and to get the latest in business, LinkedIn, organizing, and podcasting news, sign up to receive my weekly newsletter at thehappyworkaholic.com. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.